Hey guys, welcome back. This is ChosenArchitect. Today we're going to be really diving deep into this pack. So I hope you guys are ready. So guys, welcome to my new and lovely base. So yes, I did expand this base quite a bit. While I had some free time, I was able to sit down and grind out some cobblestone, grind out some more wheat so I can get some more grass. And this is kind of what I've come up with. So I thought it would probably be a good idea to kind of use just some circles that are surrounding the central platform down here and to raise it up a little bit off the ground to kind of minimize that popping noise the lava's making. But I think it looks pretty good so far. I will probably be expanding even more depending on how crazy this pack is going to get when it comes to automating things. But we're going to find out as we go. Now, I did separate and I have now two grass paths. I have the grass section over here and over there, and then underneath each one of these is a block of cobblestone that is lining the whole bottom of this the entire ring. And the reason I have all of that set up is just in case we need to place down lava or water, we don't have that pulling into the beautiful lava that is down below us, creating awful obsidian that I really don't want to have to clean up later on. So that is why I have all this set up. Now, I did go ahead and place water down here, which did create obsidian, but that is perfectly fine. We're going to be utilizing that later on. And now all of this farmland is now saturated. I did go ahead and move some of this and added some lighting because, of course, we are in a nether environment. There's going to need to be a lot of torches because we do not have any sunlight. And so far, I pretty much have this whole area, for the most part, lit up. But we need to go ahead and get in to Chapter 2. Yeah, Chapter 2 is what we're going to be jumping into today. And apparently we're going to be getting trees soon. So we have two paths that I really want to get to. One is getting some wood, because the wood is also going to make this build look a little bit nicer, because I'm going to be able to add some wood accents to kind of separate things. And then we also need to go down this path, because from what I've heard from everybody else on the server, this takes a bit of time to make some of this cobblestone here, the ancient cobblestone. So while we're getting this top progression done, we can work on these other progression lines and sort of make our way through here. So let's first of all start working with the Seed of Life. And this is going to kind of show us how this is going to work. What we are going to need to do is make these shards of the living world and shards of the root of life. In order to do that, we're going to have to break down crystals. But from what it looks like, these crystals can break down into a bunch of different types. And if you scroll, you can see all the different types that these crystals can burst into. And that's using the crushing block. But I went ahead and made a bunch of crystals. I knew that we were going to be doing this. I kind of looked ahead and kind of prepared myself. So we have our crushing block that we can actually pick up, which is really nice. So we can pick this bad boy up and we can utilize that here in a second. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and grab our crystals, which are in this chest. So I have all my crystal blocks and I have my crystals here. Now let's take a look at the uses for these crystals. We're still going to need some crystals, so I do need to make sure that we still keep some of them. But I do want to take a few and I want to knock them down. So if we do about a stack of these crystals, we should be good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place the crystals on the ground. And then we're going to drop it, and that's going to give us a bit of these shards. And it looks like we got, a few of each. So we need the shard of life and living world, I do believe. And that is going to help us start progressing to make one of these guys, seeds of life. All right, so we're going to need the crystal shards of living world and some grass blocks. I'm pretty sure we have our grass blocks setting up here. Perfect. And we have our crystals. So we can go ahead and build out this recipe. Like so. And that's going to give us one of those seeds. Now, I don't know if we just need one. If we have to make more, we can make more. Let's go ahead and complete this. That's going to give us 5 grass blocks. And we should be good. The other thing we need to work on is this Merlina. I hope I'm saying that right. Merlina, I believe. Seed. And that's just going to require some dye. This is a super simple recipe in order to get this crop. It does look like it needs to be planted on soul sand because of the texture it is. I don't know if that's the case. We're going to find out as we go. I probably need to check the book just to make sure. Let's go ahead and plant this seed first. So it says right click on the ground to breed life, and that'll be a 3 radius. So a 3x3 block is where this is going to breed life. So there we go. And that grew a tree. All right, before we go crazy here, let's make ourselves a crook. Now, there's a couple things we can do with crooks, but the crooks are going to sort of help us with our percentages of getting, it'll just help us get saplings, potentially. And that's probably a good thing to do. So, I'm going to go ahead and use stone. That's just going to be the best for right now. This is coming from the Inspirations mod, but this should give us some more saplings. And quite a few, actually. Wow, that was a good amount. And this is going to get us wood. And then right here we have fertile soil. Now, if I plant that down there, does that give it some sort of bone meal effect? Wow, it looks like it does. That's actually really nice. So now we have access to wood. Oh, it's so good. But we do have to keep in mind there is lava. But I think we're high enough that we shouldn't be affected by lava, given the fact that I do have a cobblestone border that is down here. I'm sure that if I build it down here, use any wood, it is going to burn. I should probably set up some examples just to see if it does catch on fire. We'll see if this bottom block catches on fire. It should. And then I'll place like one over here, one a little bit higher that is over here. And we'll just see if those catch on fire. That'll give us kind of an example on how high that we can actually go. All right. So now that we have that done, let's go ahead and work on this seed. These are actually going to be pretty simple. We have a lot of seeds in here. Go ahead and grab our normie seeds. And then we're also going to need some other plant life, which are these dandelions. And you can also take some beetroot here. And we're going to turn that beetroot into red dye. And then we'll also take the dandelions and turn that into red dye. Now, for this recipe, we should only need, let's see, 4 of each. Okay, so we need to make sure we know that. Let's take our normie seeds and go ahead and get this set up. 4 of each. Bam, we are ready to go. Go ahead and throw this on our central crafting area. And that gets us this guy. All right, the Merlina seed. So, it says if you're having trouble grow this, make sure that it has enough light. Okay, so make sure it has enough light, and let's see if it actually plants on the ground. We have a little bit of bone meal just to make sure. And it does. It plants just fine. Now, is it affected by this? Will it actually grow with our crop dust? I can't tell. Should grow with bone meal. Does it grow backwards? Oh my gosh. It actually grows backwards. That is hilarious. So you just seen that. It grew backwards. Now, what did it actually drop? Let's go ahead and clear our inventory a little bit. It dropped something. Oh, it dropped the time dust. So, harvested from these seeds. And that's going to get us an Hourglass of Nostalgia. Alright, so this is the thing that it wants us to make. So we're going to need a few of these. And that makes total sense why this thing goes backwards now. That is kind of funny, actually. Kind of hilarious. Alright, let's go ahead. I'm going to plant these over here where we are going to make sure it has enough light. Like it said. It's just funny that it grows backwards. Now, like I said, I don't know if the crop dusting is really affecting it too much. It should be faster than this, but it doesn't seem like that's working. So I might have to bone meal a little bit. And then we're going to work on getting our Hourglass of Nostalgia set up. Hey look, we just got 5 levels. So after I got all that done, we should be able to make these lovely Hourglasses of Time. I did do some research on them though. It is kind of interesting. We're going to need 4 and we get 2 more, which will make a total of 6, which is actually perfect because I plan on setting about 6 of them up. But I did some research on how big they actually are. So that way we know how to actually place them in our world. So let's go ahead and grab some cobblestone. We're going to need some of that. We're also going to need some glass, some regular stone, because that's how we're going to make them. We need some of that time dust. And by the way, time meal is later on, I guess, a way to be able to grow this stuff properly. Because time meal is used on these seeds to grow them properly. Because these guys grow in reverse. And the funny thing is if you grow them with if you hit them with bone meal and they're full grown and you let them set for a couple seconds, they will lose their current growth state and go back in time, which is awful, but it's also hilarious altogether. So let's go ahead and make these things. So it is an hourglass. Let's go ahead and make some glass panes, and we need to make 4 of these to complete that quest. So there we go, 4, and then we also need to make 4 levers. I'm going to make 6. That just makes sense because we're going to be given 2 more. There we go. So let's go ahead and make some levers. And quest complete, and we get 2 more. Alright, so let's go ahead and set these bad boys up, and we can kind of see what it's actually going to take in order to set them up. So earlier, out of a quest reward, we got a stone wand. And I think this is actually going to be a pretty cool use case for this thing. Alright, so we need to find somewhere to place these guys. And I think on these corner posts is probably a good place to do that. Now, it's not going to be easy for me to just place these up. But what I'm going to do is on top of this torch, I'm going to go up a few blocks. And the amount is exactly 3. So 1, if I can jump on top of the torch. Guess I'm going to have to build up. So we need 1, 2, 3. And what we're going to do here is we're going to place an hourglass right on top. Because how this works is it works 3 blocks away in any direction. And that means it'll be a 7x7 cube when we are fully done with this thing. So what I'm going to do is on top of it, go ahead and apply a lever and turn it on. And then on the sides of this thing, we're going to go 1, 2, 3. And we're going to do this all the way around. 3 blocks in all directions. And even on top, which actually on top is only going to be 2 currently because we do have a lever in the way. So just like that and up. Perfect. And the next step is going to be just filling the rest of it in. Yep, we're going to have to fill this whole thing in. And we can make it into a giant cube, and it will work perfectly as a giant cube. And I'm going to put 6 of these around because we are eventually going to need a lot of this stuff. So, I'll be back once I get it all done. So guys, here is our massive structures that we have built up that are all on. And as you can see, it's really working. So these are the first 2 that I built. And as you can see, if we were to ore excavate just the ancient cobble, we'd probably get quite a bit off of that. I'm going to let them go for a little bit longer while we work on some other things. But, I mean, from the looks of it, these things are flying. These things are doing wonderful. So these are 7x7 cubes. They took a little bit to build. But later on down the road, I'm assuming they'll be a lot easier to build. And I did go ahead and add some like walls at the bottom just to make them look like they were held up. I think that's a good little touch. But of course, they're going to disappear as they change the ancient cobblestone. The only thing we really need to do is gather 10 of these. And that's just going to push us into the further steps here. But there are some other things that we should probably start looking into. And that is, 1, the rotary grinder. And also learning how to use the rock core. So, while we're letting all this work, let's start working on some other parts of this quest line, and that is getting into some more prodigy tech. So, we have a heat sawmill, and we have the rotary grinder. These are all going to be super nice. We've already made one part of that, and that was from the previous quest right here, which is a magmatic arrow heater. The good thing is I think we might be able to put the rotary grinder on top of the aromatic, the heat generator, and then put the sawmill on top of the rotary grinder, and potentially that might be enough heat left over that it will still run the sawmill. but we're going to find out as we go. So to make the rotary grinder, we are going to need more of that pink stuff, and then we're going to need some crystal grinding wheels. So crystals, they're not that hard to come by, right? We already have tons of crystals, and remember how I said we were going to need more? I'm glad that we have them. I'm also going to need to take some of this pink composite, and also realized I've been a derp this whole time and never made an infinite water pool. So yeah, you can just toss these in an infinite water pool, and that's perfectly fine. I now have 2 infinite water pools. I have been a complete derp this entire time. So we're going to go ahead and toss this into some lava. I actually think that we might be able to toss this right here and it just catch it on fire. I don't know, maybe over here it might. There it goes. Perfect. So that works. So there is our brick, and all we got to do now is make ourselves, I think it was 3 of these. And we're going to be making the grinder. So rotary grinder, there we go. So rotary grinder, that was completed. And that gets us some sugar cubes to eat, which gives us speed for 45 and haste for 45. That is really nice. We might utilize those later on. All right, and the next one is the sawmill. So this is going to require some cutters. So this is something new. Flint is something that we don't exactly have yet, but we can get it from gravel. Now, how do we go about getting gravel? It looks like it's talking a little bit about the explosion furnace, which I know is later on down the road, and we don't have access to a squeezer. So maybe this is going to require the explosion furnace. I don't know exactly. Maybe there is a special kind of flint that we can get. Or, yeah, because we need gravel. And we just don't have that yet. Alright, so yeah, that might be something that we have to postpone for a little bit. Mechanical squeezer, yeah, we don't have that. But gravel should be something that we should have access to, but I don't think so yet. Ah, rotary grinder. Ah, we're going to use a rotary grinder with some cobblestone. That makes a lot of sense. So, let's go ahead and get that set up so that way we can get our rotary grinder. So I'm pretty sure I have my machines in one of these chests over here. I think it might be this one right here. So this is our magmatic arrow heater. So the magmatic arrow heater works a little weird. It actually sets on top of lava and is used in that fashion. So I don't want to use that particular lava source there, but what we're going to do is probably remove this guy and this guy, which they do have stuff in them. And we're going to place some lava right here. Remember how I said I did place stuff underneath, so that works perfect. And we are going to have to make a run for it. I have my tools over in this chest. We're going to catch ourselves on fire, and we're going to make a run for it. Because we have to, yeah, pull some lava from one of these blocks. I think last time I just pulled it from underneath here. So yeah. So here's a block. We're going to grab it, and we're going to run, place it down, and jump in the water. Whew. Alright, so the magmatic arrow heater needs to go right on top. You can see that it is working by the texture change. Then on top of that, we can put a rotary grinder, and we're going to start seeing the output temperature start to rise. Perfect. And then from there, we can start adding some cobblestone. And the cobblestone should lower the temperature just a bit and start to produce gravel. That's what it's going to look like. Wow. I mean, I almost would have missed that if I hadn't have proceeded to seeing exactly what that was talking about. Alright, so the sawmill, cutters, right? That's going to require 2 a piece. And then I know these cutters are actually used for a couple of things in their self. And a lot of it has to do with the food. So I do know that is a thing. But also they're used for some other things with this. Is it just the vanilla food pantry? I think they're used for some other stuff later on down the road. Because I know they're used here, technically. And we have 7 of that left. Oh yeah, we're going to be doing good. So I'm going to let that grind up a bit. Of course, that is going to give me some time to grow some crops. Do some fun stuff. By the way, I did want to mention this. A good tip. Once you get a good amount of area, I recommend using some sugarcane. You can grow a lot of sugarcane really quickly, and that's going to be a good coal source. So just harvesting this set that I have here will produce about 4 stacks of charcoal. Not charcoal itself, but charcoal chunks. And you can use that as fuel, and it works awesome. So I highly recommend it. If you also think about it this way, it'll produce about a half a stack of charcoal in general. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and let that, get that, go. Let that get its thing done, get a little bit of gravel going. And I'll be back once we get that started. So now that we have a little bit of gravel, we can go ahead and actually break this stuff down. So I'm going to go ahead and throw, I don't know, we only need 2, and it's going to give us 2 flint a piece, I think. Take a look at the use case for this. 1 gravel is going to give us 1 to 2 flint. So just to be on the safe side, we're going to need, I don't know, we'll double up. So there we go. Because we know we're going to at least get 1 gravel, or 1 flint from that. So I think 12 is going to be a good choice. Let's go ahead and throw that on the ground. And is that enough flint? We need 3. Oh yeah, that's plenty of flint. Looky there. Perfect. So that should provide us with enough to make our Prodigy Tech sawmill. There we go. So on this sawmill, we should be able to place it on top, and it still gain enough inner air temperature so it can function while this is still running. I believe that is how this whole thing is supposed to work. And there's actually pipes within Prodigy Tech that you can use to sort of change the direction from which the heat is going. You see this air funnel right here, transmit hot air, turn off with a redstone signal. So you could technically like use it as a shut-off valve. I think there's stuff that might, I don't know if this one allows you to change directions, pulls items from inventories in front and pushes them all to the other side. Okay, round robin. So there's some stuff that can pull items out and such. But later on we'll be getting into integrated dynamics, and that'll allow us to automate without even touching any of that. So integrated dynamics is actually pretty cool. Yeah, that's gonna work. So we should be able to grab some logs here, and I believe this is the only way you can actually get sticks, I do believe. Okay, so it does look like we don't have enough temperature to drive this thing. So if we were to pull this out, now we have enough input temperature to drive this thing. So we are probably going to need another magmatic arrow heater specifically for our sawmill. That, or we are only going to run our sawmill when the rotary grinder is not running. That's what we're going to have to do apparently. Now, what is the uses for this? Particle board, some sawdust. It looks like it can be used as a reagent. I think sand can also be used as a reagent in the explosion furnace as well. That is from Prodigy Tech. So yeah, there is some pretty interesting things. We just got some wood there. I think we can even take this even further and put it in a sawmill and get a few more sticks, which is also a very good thing. So now that we have that done, we get ourselves, what is some muscle bread? That is going to have multiple uses on it, it looks like. All right, so I think at this point, we probably have enough cobblestone that we can bust some geodes open. But we are going to also need to make a log mallet, I think, all in that one go, because we're going to start getting into a mod that is called Tetra. And it's going to be a little interesting, because a lot of people have not actually seen how or what Tetra is. And it's really interesting. So, here's our cobblestone. By the way, I was wondering. Okay, we can move that. We need to go ahead and grab some. So, the best way to probably do this is going to be just ore excavate a section. That is going to give us quite a bit here. Let's see if we can't scrape off some more from this section. Okay. Looks like we scraped off a bit. And of course we have some more over here that we can do. But these overall should all eventually convert. We shouldn't have to worry about it. Alright, so we have some ancient stone here. And that is going to give us some cobblestone burst seeds. I do kind of want to see what these cobblestone burst seeds... Everyone on the server has been talking about them. And saying that they're hilarious. So if you place them... I'm assuming... that they have a chance of exploding. I don't know why the ground untilled. I guess it doesn't matter. But yeah, apparently they have a chance of exploding cobblestone everywhere. I have no idea. Because I've not... Oh, I think it exploded. Yep, that's exactly what it does. So I think maybe placing this in a spot that is contained would be a good way to go about collecting these. Because otherwise, this just spills items all over the place. Oh my gosh. But there are some pretty useful burst seeds that we're going to be getting into later. Alright, so now that we got that done, let's go ahead, I guess, and get into Tetra. Alright, so let's go ahead, and inside one of these chests I do have my utilities, which is, oh, it's down here, which has a crafting table in it. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and break this, and we're going to place a crafting table, a regular crafting table, be sure that that's what it is. And let's take a look at the geodes. So to make geodes, we need to throw the ancient cobblestone into lava. Alright, so let's go ahead and do that. So we'll throw that. That gives us a bunch of geodes. We'll throw that. Bunch of geodes. That is a lot of geodes, by the way. And now is where we need to figure out how to open them. Because if you get to this point, you might be kind of confused. You see right here, break open in a workbench to yield valuable materials. And I hope it tells you in here. Doesn't seem like it. Doesn't seem like it tells you how to do it. This right here is how you need to do it, though. Here's your log mallet. So let's go ahead and make one of those. That is going to require some sticks. I think I have some laying around, though. Maybe not enough. We can get some more. There we go. Where do I thought I had some more sticks laying around. Guess I was wrong. Anyways, here we go. So a log mallet is going to require some wood, and that's going to get you a log mallet. Now you take the log mallet and you hit it on that crafting table, and this is how you open geodes. You can put geodes in here, but you see right here, this actually requires a tier 2 hammer. We currently do not have a hammer that is good enough to really get us anywhere to getting iron. It says right here, right click the vanilla crafting table with the mallet to turn it into a Tetra crafting table. Replace the mallet piece with stone to make it strong enough to break the geodes. So yes, but I believe we have to have 2 mallets in order to upgrade this thing. So if we replace this handle with a piece of stone, let's go ahead and grab some stone. If we replace this flimsy handle, right here, tool handle, with stone, it will not let us craft it because we currently, let's see, is it sticks or is it stone? Pretty sure it sticks. Maybe it will let you upgrade it. Is it cobblestone? I thought maybe it's the head. The head needs to be changed. Mallet head. There we go. Stone. There. Okay. Perfect. That's one side done. We need to do the other one. I think it used to be that to be able to upgrade this thing, which is now a tier 2, by the way, that you needed to have another hammer in your inventory, but apparently you don't anymore. So now we can break open geodes. And yeah, this is going to yield us what seems like a lot of random materials. Wow, we're getting a lot of good stuff here. There's a diamond. And unfortunately, you have to break them one by one. And so yeah, alright, that netted us quite a bit. Now, if you hit K on your keyboard while in a crafting table, you can go ahead and it'll auto craft your materials up into their forms. So let's throw these out so we have some room in our inventory. And there we go. So we almost had enough for a gold nugget. Almost there. Almost to that point. So I'm going to go ahead and put all of my precious materials in here. And really, we're waiting for some more geodes. Guys, we are really starting to progress through this. And look at that. We just got some iron, which nets us some more charcoal. And we're going to be getting into a part where we need to make some nether crystals. And this right here is going to require us to get a nether portal. All right, so now that we have Tetra, we really need to decide on what we're going to use for a tool for gaining obsidian. And I think it's probably best that we go over how Tetra works and use Tetra to our advantage for this. All right, so to get started with Tetra, let's go ahead and first make ourselves a basic stone pickaxe. Now, inside here, we can now customize how our pickaxe works. And we can actually choose a couple things. We can choose what handle we want it to have. So the tool handle, make sure by the way, you have your hammer on you because you are going to need that. But we can choose here what we can put on here. So maybe we want to put a blaze rod on here eventually. We're going to need a tier 4 hammer, which means we're going to need to upgrade our hammer eventually. There are a few things we can do though. We can actually upgrade the hammer with, I don't know, iron here. So we can use iron to upgrade our handle, craft that. So now we have an iron on the rod part, which gives us some more integrity to be able to, I don't know, do things like add diamond or so on to our headpiece. So let's go ahead and grab a diamond because I think that's something we can upgrade with later on. And we have our stone pickaxe head. You can actually change these to a lot, make it a multi-tool, but we're going to go with just making it a pickaxe for right now. Now, some materials we have. This is going to require 2 diamonds to make one side of this a diamond head. So, do we want to do this? I say probably so. Because we're going to need to be able to mine stuff. And it says right here, double pickaxe head to provide, and this material should give us a mining, or the mining level of diamond, I believe. And then right here, and it's going to be cheaper by the way, it's 1 less. And then over here, pickaxe head, we're going to add 2 iron. And now we have a diamond pickaxe that is double-sided that should be able to mine obsidian. So, as you can see right here, our pickaxe is just perfect for mining obsidian, and we only had to use 2 diamonds to make it. So this is actually a pretty decent tool, and it's pretty fast as well. And that right there was able to get us some obsidian. Now, what we can do is actually utilize this tunnel that we have right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold shift. So this should actually, or hold the tilde key for the, or grave key, so we can ore excavate this. And hopefully we should be able to get enough of this material without it disappearing on us. So there is a couple of obsidian we got. It's not perfect, but we did get quite a bit. I guess we lucked out and got 1. So I'm going to go ahead and continue mining up a bit of this until we have enough obsidian. And then we're going to be able to get into the portal and start making some different types of crystals. So now that I have all of that stuff ready to go, as you can see, I've slowly been chipping away from these things. And netting myself some good resources. Look at this stuff. I mean, we're getting diamonds. We're getting iron, a lot of iron. Just slowly but surely, I'm going to be building up on more of these resources. And you can see over there, I have now built a portal. So we need to activate this thing. And to do that, I'm probably going to need flint and steel. And I'm assuming, I hope I'm right. There we go. We can get some flint and steel. Now, perfect. Now we don't have to use the lava trick for our items because we should be able to burn them like most other things. So we can test that out here. So now we can place this down and toss that in. And there we go. That actually burns the item. That is perfect. That is exactly what I wanted to do. And now we can do that. So let's go ahead and light this portal. And we're going to need to toss, I believe, these crystals in. So let's go ahead and see what this tells us to do. So it says toss a crystal into the nether portal to acquire this, which is a nether crystal. And it doesn't actually tell you, I believe, obtained by throwing a crystal into the nether. So this is a crystal. So we should be able to throw that in. I am going to do 16 of them and see what we can't obtain from this. Now, this is a neat mechanic. I've actually never seen this before. So it's going to be pretty cool. But I did go ahead and build a square portal. The reason I did that is because I don't have a 2x2 base. But this should work just the same. It is a normal portal. Now, when you stand in this, it does not take you to the nether. Instead, it is used as a portal to be able to throw items in, like that. So, we should be able to throw all these crystals in, and once they hit the actual portal itself, that will generate these nether crystals. And these, when they're crushed, I believe give different shards. I believe, and they're also used for generating some other blocks, like this heat block, for example, from Hearthwell. And some other stuff from Hearthwell, which we haven't gotten fully into. We're going to get into those a couple episodes from now. We're definitely going to be getting the Amplified Tube next episode. But guys, we have gotten so much done today. It has been absolutely super fun hanging out with you guys, being able to be here, and you guys giving all these videos a thumbs up, guys. That is absolutely amazing. I really do appreciate it. I will see you guys in the next episode. And as always, thanks for watching.